My life would not be materially better if I walked around with an extra 10 kilograms of muscle on my frame. I came to that conclusion many years ago, and because of that, plus all the downsides of taking anabolic steroids, which I'll get onto later, I have never been tempted to join the dark side. And honestly, not a lot of people in the fitness industry can say that. Not even 1% of me has been tempted. Nothing. Funnily enough, that even includes the time back in the UK 4 years ago when I competed in an untested bodybuilding competition. And I'm pretty sure I was the only natural guy in the whole venue and probably within a 2-mile radius of that. How do I know? Well, judging by how much more muscle all the other competitors had compared to me, I still came third out of fourth, so don't give me too much stick. But anyway, to prove my point, let's play out the hypothetical scenario where I start taking testosterone. I decide today, enough's enough. I want to start making some real gains again. I'm sick and tired of everyone else on social media looking better than me all the time, and I want to quote unquote take my physique to the next level. So right away, my strength in the gym would go through the roof instantly. I'd be bench pressing 120 kilos for 8 reps instead of 85 kilos, bicep curling the 24s rather than using the 18s, squatting 140 for reps instead of 100. You get the idea. It would be insane. I'd also soon be wearing size large t-shirts instead of medium and really filling them out as well. For some brands, maybe even an XL. That would do wonders for my ego. I would be building muscle at a faster rate even compared to when I very first started lifting back when I was 16 or 17 years old. I'd be getting those newbie gains all over again because of taking steroids. And seeing as though I've always been either small or medium for t-shirts, filling out a size L would be great. I'd finally be joining the big boys now that I'm on gear. I'd also start getting way more likes and comments on my Instagram pictures and probably views on YouTube as well. Imagine how much more striking my thumbnails would be on YouTube if I was walking around with an extra 10 kilos of muscle on my frame. 100% people would click on that thumbnail more because natural looking physiques just aren't that interesting and appealing compared to the genetically enhanced ones. Hundreds of thousands of people tune in every year to watch the Mr. Olympia bodybuilding contest to see the biggest and best bodybuilders on the planet battling it out for the top prize. And of course they're all on gear. Do the same amount of people tune in to watch the natural version every year? No, not even 5%. The same goes for performance athletes. I mean, look at the Olympics, for example. Yeah, sure, it's tested, but all those guys lining up on the 100-meter sprint final are on the good stuff. And that's what makes it so exciting to watch, because they're that much quicker, bigger, faster than normal people. So we tune in to watch in our millions. If I was juiced up, post upper body, 10 kilos more muscle on my frame, I'd be getting way more traction on my social media posts than ever before. Probably 5 times the amount of likes and comments that I get now. I'd also get more guys coming up to me on the gym floor asking me how I got my upper chest so jacked or what I'm doing for my biceps. Because by the way, when you start taking testosterone, it's your upper chest, your shoulders and your traps which see the quickest development early on, because those muscle groups have more androgen receptors compared to the others. So if you see someone in the gym with freaky looking delts, upper chest and traps, chances are they're probably on gear. An important note on that, I'd only get guys coming up to me in the gym asking me for tips and advice. Women literally do not care. So yeah, steroids work for all of those reasons. And honestly, this is why so many men, and now lots of women, take them. They work, most of the time, really well. And because they've become more mainstream, they're getting more and more popular every single year. Back in the day, only hardcore bodybuilders used to be taking steroids. Think Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman, or Sylvester Stallone when he was shooting the Rocky movies. Now, you get 19-year-old teenagers taking TRT and bikini competitors taking Anavar to lean up. Steroids are everywhere. There will literally be people in your gym taking them. And the interesting fact is, it probably won't even be the people you would expect. Sure, the biggest guys in your gym are probably on it, but also people with normal looking physiques could still be dabbling in it as well. But my real point is, do any of these upsides equal better, materially better, lifestyle better, worth all the downside better? I personally don't think so. Not at all. Especially if you're relatively young, fit, and healthy anyway. That example of the 19-year-old teenager on TRT, he definitely doesn't need to be taking it. If you're older and you have chronically low testosterone, you're in your 50s and your 60s, then sure, you can look into hormone replacement therapy, but that's a topic for another video. But going from my experience today, I'm 32 and relatively healthy. The downsides massively outweigh the upside. It's important to note, by the way, I'm not a doctor or an expert on this, so you have to take what I say with a pinch of salt, but this is just based on my experience and what I know today. So on that, let's have a quick look at the downside. So I've just asked ChatGPT for downside of anabolic steroids. And let's read the list out. Acne, oily skin, accelerated balding and hair loss, increased body hair, shrinking testicles, reduced sperm counts, erectile dysfunction, infertility, development of breast tissue, known as gyno, liver strain and liver damage, kidney stress, increased risk of heart attack, increased risk of stroke, long-term cardiovascular problems, mood swings, aggression, roid rage, anxiety, depression, and lastly, psychological dependence and addiction. So yeah, there we have it. ChatGPT sometimes makes mistakes, yes, but we can all agree that list sounds pretty on the money. And it's a big old list, right? And for me, and probably you also, is it really worth all that downside to have a little bit more muscle? Probably not. For example, I started losing my hair at age 27, and so if I jumped on steroids, I don't think it would last a week. And the acne, again, I had terrible acne growing up when I was in my teenage years, so I know I'm genetically predispositioned to have that. So again, if I started taking gear, my acne would blow up. What's the point of me having 10 kilos more muscle to look better if only then my whole body is covered in acne? It would look disgusting and definitely offset all the extra muscle I built. Sure, you can be lucky and have not that many visible side effects from steroids, but in order to know that, you would need to hop on in the first place without knowing if you're going to have those side effects, and that's a big risk to take, right? Because you just don't know. And just on that last point of the list, psychological dependence and addiction. Everyone says they'll only do one cycle. They'll do the one cycle, they'll run it for 12 weeks, they'll get all the muscle gains because of that, they'll able to reduce the downside, and then they'll never touch it again. But imagine this, imagine you start taking steroids and you get all of those benefits. Is it then, after 12 weeks, going to be that easy to just stop, just like that? Of course not. It would be almost impossible to go cold turkey on it. Almost all the people I know who are on steroids initially said they'd only just do one cycle to get the gains from it. Fast forward 5 years and they're still blasting it every year. Because like most drugs, steroids are addictive, physically and psychologically. Who would want to go back to bench pressing only 70 kilos when you're used to impressing everyone in the gym with 100 kilos? You'd have to swallow your pride and your ego, and most guys on gear are not going to do that. Or having to buy a load of medium-sized t-shirts again when you've got a whole wardrobe full of L's and XL's. It's just not realistic, and almost all the people I know who have jumped on wish they had never started in the first place. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.